What's up, everybody? The Washington Wizards get a much-needed win at home, 110-104 against the Brooklyn Nets, led by Kuzma and who? Deni Avdija. So we definitely going to talk about that, do a preview for Sunday's game against the Atlanta Hawks, and chop it up at the end like we always do. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again with my guy, the real Ed Oliver. And we appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And tonight's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA and use code all lowercase LockedOnNBA for the first deposit match up to $100. So the Washington Wizards get a much needed win against the Brooklyn Nets, 110-104 at home. So we're going to look at that. And then we're going to do a preview for Sunday's game against the Hawks and then chop it up at the end. So let's get right into it. Big night for Kuzma and Deni Avdija. So much needed win. Obviously, Kuzma going against his nemesis, Bitcoin King himself. So, man, who are you more happy to see with a good performance tonight? Kuzma or Deni Avdija?
It's a tough one, man. Kuz came in. He was clutch in the fourth quarter. He was on a tear where he couldn't be stopped. But Deni, man, 21 points, double, 21. How many boards? I want to say he had like 13 boards.
Yeah. He
ended up with. I'm looking on the stats right now. Yeah, he ended up with 13 boards, 21 points, 13 boards, 6 assists, and was a plus 13. He almost had basically a dominant night tonight too, where he was just getting to the basket. Playing with a lot of confidence, being aggressive. The only thing is the free throws. He was 0 for 4 from the free throw line. Yeah. Not only was he going to his right, but he made some moves where he was going to his left and using his left hand, finishing well in transition, taking what the defense gives him, forcing the issue, not selling for threes. He did shoot the three ball well. This was a great bounce back game for him where he's been in a slump the last couple of weeks. We talked about it. Just want to see him play with confidence. Can he keep this up? This was the turbo Deni that we saw from last year. So he was a huge part, man. He was cutting to the basket, moving up the basketball, finishing around the rim. I loved everything that he did last night in the game except for free throws. So I loved everything that Deni did. This is one of his best games of his career. Going up against Cam Johnson, going up against Mikal Bridges, Finney Smith. The Nets have some good wings that can defend, even though they're not a good defensive team. And I thought he took advantage when the pick and roll, whenever he had Sharp guarding him out there. He just knew Sharp was way too slow, so he would take him off the dribble and get to the basket. So great all-around game for Deni. Just has to make his free throws. And it's a tough one with Kuzma. Kuzma had a heck of a game too, 26 points. We don't win this game without Kuz, especially down the stretch in the fourth quarter for sure. The first half was a little rough. He did have 9 points in the first half, but the beginning of the second half, he airballed, but he started getting to the basket, started hitting his jumper. His mid-range shot was falling, so he was a huge part. So it's tough to choose between the two, but I'm going to go with Deni to start off.
Yeah, I had to roll with Turbo, man. This is definitely the bounce back performance I want to see from him. And this is what you expect with him, with his offensive game evolving this offseason, man. You mentioned him using his left hand is huge, man. So it shows that he's working on his game. Confidence, we saw a slump where, it showed that, his confidence is down a little bit. But now this is what you want to see. This is that fire that you want to see lit underneath Deni, man. He played out his mind. 21 points, 13 boards, 6 assists, 9 for 18 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3. And what does that tell me? That he's not hesitant to take those shots. He definitely, he rolled the hot hand. He rolled with himself. He stayed aggressive. I love what I saw. Now, I'm with you. The only negative to me is free throws. That's the thing. When you drive, you have to make those free throws because you're going to draw a lot of fouls by driving to the paint. So you definitely have to get better at free throw shooting. But, overall, Deni had a heck of a game, man. Heck of a game. 1 steal, 1 block. Only 1 turnover. This is the performance that we wanted to see from Turbo. This is Turbo. You know what I'm saying? When the confidence is up and he's playing like this is Turbo. This is what we want to see from Deni going forward, man. Like you said, Kuzma, 26 points, 8 boards, 11 for 22 from the field. So he's about 50%. So it can't knock him too much for his efficiency. But 4 for 10 from 3. So Kuzma, again, was his usual self, what we expect from Kuzma, being that scorer. the guy that utilizes his frame and is able to drive the way he wants to. He's money with that shot. Can he be a little too dependent on the three? Yeah, but when it hits, man. And he was definitely hitting the night. So, but looking at the starting five, man, Tyus Jones, kind of it was a workman's night. I mean, nothing flashy, but 12 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. I love the assist numbers from him, shooting 6 for 9 from the field. So it wasn't too bad, but very uneventful night from Tyus. And but looking at Jordan Poole and Daniel Gafford, both of them 4 personal fouls, and looking at Gaff only 16 minutes. Now I know we were talking about, man, he kind of lost his head a little bit, going after Nicholas Claxton. He kind of he wasn't his usual kind of woo-saw self like the Gaff is, man. Because you don't really see Gaff get mad like that. So it was definitely out of character for him, and I think it kind of hurt him a little bit. But end of the night, 4 points, 5 boards, and then Jordan Poole, non-existent fourth quarter. I mean, look at overall for 24 points, but I don't know if are you concerned? Because man, I know the trade deadline is coming up, man, but we're only a quarter in, and you're already seeing his minutes being dwindled a little bit. So at this point, are you concerned at all?
I'm not concerned. I got to give props to Shamet and Corey Kispert. They played really well. So Wes, he had to make a decision there, whether to go with the hot hand or go with Jordan Poole. And I thought he made the right decision with, going with Shamet. Shamet had a tough and one. Corey Kispert was, breaking guys down, doing step backs and getting to the basket. He was actually kind of joking around, did a little pump fake on Dennis Smith Jr. So I got to give my props to Corey Kispert. I mean, it was a tough decision. And if I was Wes, I probably would have had to do the same thing and go with Shamet and Corey Kispert. It just depends on who's hot at the time. Like, Wes had to go with Muscala instead of Gafford. When Gafford was in foul trouble, and Muscala, I'll give him his credit. He was playing well. He was rebounding, playing hard, making some outside shots here and there. So I thought Muscala did a good job. He had a nice block on Cam Thomas. Wes challenged that. I thought that was a good – we actually had a challenge that was successful. Then the Nets tried a challenge. They had an unsuccessful challenge. Mikal Bridges was crying to the refs, and he tried to say the ball went off the Wizards. I was like, the ball did not go off the Wizards at all. He tried to say we fouled him, but that call was unsuccessful. But yeah, back to Jordan Poole. I'm not too concerned. You look at the last couple of games. He's playing a lot. He's playing so much better than what he did in the first part of the season, where he was shacking a fool, throwing the ball at the backboard, getting blocked. He's playing a lot better. He didn't shoot the ball well last night, but I thought overall he had an okay game. He had 5 assists, 1 turnover. Didn't really force the issue. Didn't shoot the ball much, but I don't think it was a terrible game from Jordan Poole. Just other guys had the hot hand. He didn't shoot the 3-ball well, but you look at other games. He had 14 against the he had 14 against the Raptors, and then he had 30 against the Magic. So he's starting to hit his stride a little bit. Last night, I think he's going to bounce back from that, especially against the Hawks team. We're going to talk about later that gives up a lot of points. But I'm not concerned about Jordan Poole right now. I think eventually, I think he's a guy that's not going to – he's not a long-term piece here.
Yeah.
But I'm not too concerned about last night.
No, I'm not either. I just wanted to ask that question, but I'm not either because I totally agree with you that Wes using the hot hand was the best decision for this. And I think that had a lot to do with the win, man, because, he riding with Kispert and Shamet, I believe that was a good choice on Wes's part, man. That was definitely a move that I want to see from Wes. And then, the same thing with Muscala, man. 11 points. He took over for Gaff. I think that was the good decision at the situation, man. So, I definitely agree with that. So, I mean, in short, this was a good team win. I mean, obviously we know there were issues rebounding. I rebounded. That's just going to be the MO going forward. But, you see fight. Now, the biggest thing now is consistency. Again, I know I say that word all the time, but you got to be consistent, man. Because, like I said, you'll have nights where you see games like this where they're playing competitively. And then you'll see games where it's like the Raptors game where it's like they don't even want to be there. So, I want to see some consistent effort as far as, play every game to win, irregardless if you're going to win or not. That's building culture. So, but definitely a really good team victory against the Nets, 110-104. So we're going to get into preview for Sunday's game against the Atlanta Hawks. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. So you wonder, what is PrizePicks? Well, PrizePicks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you could pin more than or less than on 2 to 6 players in their stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. I'm trying to tell you. With the basketball season here, you can now pick a combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 more players from different sports or leagues. For example, LeBron James plus Travis Kelce at 10.5 combo of 3 points made and receptions. I would definitely take that. Want to play alongside some of PrizePicks' favorite players like rapper Meek Mill and comedian Andrew Schultz? You can now find the community plays under the promos tabs of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in PrizePicks community each and every week. PrizePicks even offers a reboot policy that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. For example, for football and basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that play is rebooted. PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. That is big. So all you got to do is go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA and use promo code LockedOnNBA for the first deposit match up to $100. And again, go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA and use promo code LockedOnNBA for the first deposit match up to $100. And Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national shows 24/7 streaming channel. So, fast forward Sunday at 3, we have the Atlanta Hawks. So, again, we're not doing keys to victory. We are doing keys to development. So, rolling with the Hawks, man, division opponent. What are you looking for as far as keys to development?
And another thing about the win, I thought they did a good job protecting the basketball.
Yeah.
They only had 7 turnovers, and they had 0 turnovers in the fourth quarter. So that was huge. Once again, they did get out rebounded. They gave up a lot of second chance points. Just looking at the rebounds, I know Deni rebounded well, but they got out rebounded 54-43.
Yeah.
They only turned the ball over 7 times. They had 28 assists. Points in the paint was even with 50-50. And but yeah, rebounding once again. They found a way to win without rebounding the ball, basically. They shot 39% from the 3 and 50% from the field. So they just shot the ball really well. And the free throw discrepancy was insane. Like, we only shot 7 free throws. The Nets shot 27 free throws in our own house. Like, that's crazy to me. And they shot 63. The Nets were terrible from the free throw line. They shot 63%. We shot 42%. But we still found a way to win just because we shot the ball well and we were able to get to the paint and get to the basket, and we shot the 3 ball well. So, yeah, the way we got to win, we have to shoot lights out because we don't rebound. Even in the win, we still got dominated on the boards.
Yeah.
But yeah, they found a way to pull it out for sure. But looking at the Hawks, keys to development, just looking at their team, right now they're 12-9. The Nets are. I'm sorry. The Hawks are 12-19.
Yep.
Right now, which is pretty darn bad, especially with all the money. They're paying to Trae Young, they're paying to DeJounte Murray, they're paying DeAndre Hunter, they're paying Clint Capella good money. Like, they're paying a lot of the guys on their roster pretty good money, man. So this is a team that they may have to break it up. Sadiq Bey, I'm not sure if they just had to pay him. I think they had to renew his contract, if I'm not mistaken. So, and I know they got Bogdanovic. He's on a good deal too. So
yeah,
they got a lot of money spent on this team, and they're not playing good basketball, which I thought they would be better than this, but they aren't. They're third. They're third in point score, so they score a lot. They score a lot.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're terrible. The defensive rating is 27, so they give up a lot of points. They're not a good defensive team. They're 5th in three-point attempts, so they shoot a lot of threes. 13th in three-point percentage. Free throw attempts 11th, probably because of Trae Young. He gets to the free throw line a lot. Offensive rebounds, they're 3rd, probably because of Clint Capella. So there's a lot of things that they do well, and of course there's a lot of things that they don't do well at all. So offensively, this for me, for the development, this is a game where Deni, I want to say consistency, man. Like, can you keep this up? Can you rebound like you did? Can you score? Can you get to the basket like you did? Those are some huge. That's a huge question mark for me, because we'll see one good game from Deni and then it kind of revert back to in the games where he has 6 points or 8 points or something like that. So that's my big question mark for me. Bilal, I thought he played up fine last game. Had a dunk or two, rebound the ball well. So I want to see him get more minutes and more touches. And Corey Kispert, keep it up too, man. That's one thing. And keeping Capella off the boards. So this is gonna be a big game for Gafford to bounce back, because I thought he kind of like you brought up, he kind of got in his head a little bit.
Yeah.
Got the technical foul, got in foul trouble. Muscala had to play instead of Gafford. So I want to see a bounce back game from Gafford as well.
Man, I agree on all points, Z. Starting with Gaff, perfect point. This is a battle I want to see between him and Capella. Similar centers where lob threats, perimeter defenders, but they don't have, they're kind of limited in their offensive capabilities. I think that, look, Gaff, play your game, man. Don't let them get to your head because look, they're going to come at you. The MO with this team is attacking the paint. They're going to come at you. Every team's going to come at the paint. This is exactly where we're weak at. We're a bad rebounding team, and we have had issues interior defense. So he's going to have to expect this. They're going to come hard at the paint. That's one way to come at us, man. But yeah, definitely want to see him win that matchup against Capella. They're very similar bigs. I believe they're around the same height, around 6'9", 6'10-ish, I believe so. So I definitely is a really good matchup between him and Capella. Looking at Deni, again, totally agree with that, man. I want to see a complete performance, from the defensive side and the offensive side. Definitely drive the lane, attack the basket. Don't be hesitant on the shots. Definitely shoot those J's, man. Definitely. I want to see him really, really aggressive on the offensive end, man. Defensively, I definitely want to see him active, getting the passing lanes, man. Definitely being a pest on defense. So I want to see a complete performance from Deni Avdija. Same thing with Black Coulibaly. Similar situation. I want to see him definitely being more aggressive on the offensive end and then keep doing his thing on the defensive end. Kispert, yes, keep being a sharpshooter. That's why I think he has a home here long term because every team needs a sharpshooter. And I'm telling you, man, when the shot's on, it is definitely on. But when the shot's not dropping, definitely continue to cut, continue to show you basketball IQ, make those smart plays, move without the ball. So I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think this is a game where both teams, the defense is going to stay in the locker room. Obviously Atlanta, they know how to shoot the ball. Trae Young shoots. DeJounte Murray is going to do his thing. But yeah, it's kind of you're talking about Sadiq Bey. I believe this is his fourth year too. So he's a restricted free agent in the year. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him. But I think this is a good matchup. I thought that the Nets game was a good matchup. And I get it, we're rebuilding and, we're not very good, but, you see good matches. I think this is a matchup where if we play team basketball and if you see fluid ball movement, man, we can probably get a sneak win here. I think this is a winnable game. I mean, because I get it, they're better than we are, but I think that when we play, here's the thing, we're not a bad squad when we play as a team. When they resort to ISO ball and high usage between, usually Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole, usually the lack of ball movement kills this team. If they play as a team and they utilize those guys around them, I think this is a winnable game.
I think so too. They got to rebound. That's one thing. Defending Trae Young, pick and roll with him and Capella, and just hitting open shooters. They got to defend the 3-point line. They really have to defend the 3-point line because they got a lot of guys that can shoot, like Sadiq Bey. You talk about his contract. Yes, you're right. I think he is a free agent after this year. He got drafted the same year as Deni. They didn't pick up his option, or they didn't give him an extension like the Wizards did with Deni. But they got to rebound. They have to defend the 3-point line. They got to get back on defense. There were some times they didn't get back on defense with the Nets too, where Sharp had some wide open dunks, some Kyle Bridges getting to the basket and on fast breaks too. So that's going to be a huge thing. It's going to be a track meet. The Hawks, they love to push the ball, push the pace. Same thing with Trae Young all the time. He's looking to push the pace and find guys. Trae Young's been on a tear for sure. So those are my keys of development there for sure. I think it's a loss, but I think it's going to be a competitive game.
Yeah, I think it's a loss too, but I think this is definitely a winnable game. I think they match up well. I think it's got to be team basketball. We cannot resort to bad habits. Definitely team basketball. And you mentioned a good point. Transition has to get better. I noticed that too, man. We're very sluggish in transition, and it kills us, man. It kills us. So, against a team that likes to push, this team, I'm not going to say this is a team that really likes to push, but it's a team that can push the ball. It's not, Spencer Dinwiddie's kind of, I mean, we know better than anybody else how he does. So they're not going to push the ball much, where Trae Young will. He will go in transition a little bit. So they definitely have to shore up those deficiencies and transition. So we're going to end the night chopping up with you guys. Before we do, Ed's going to holler at us about FanDuel tonight.
Yes, sir. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers stay hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. So if you are new to FanDuel, you might as well put money line on the 49ers for Sunday, and then you will get $150 in bonus bets. All right, we're going to get to about 2 comments because we're going to see you guys tomorrow night. So we're going to just run about 1 or 2 comments, and I guess we will see you guys before the new year starts. So I'm not going to say a Happy New Year yet. I'll say it tomorrow night when we're doing it really right before the new year starts. If we do it tomorrow, since it kind of is a holiday. I mean, it is a holiday, but we'll try our best to get on tomorrow. But Isadoro says Turbo Denny. Yes, all the Denny stands. You guys should definitely come out tonight and have a lot of fun. This is your time to shine, guys. This is your time to shine for all the Denny stands. I know you guys were waiting for this moment for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, Denny did his thing, man. I mean, it's performances like this that really get you excited about his evolution on his offensive side, man. He played well. Is the biggest thing is got to be consistent. You got to see these type of showings on a more consistent basis, and that's the biggest. I think that's the next goal for Denny is it finding that consistency. He's got the bag. He's definitely gotten better offensively. Now he's got to take that next step. So that's why I'm at with Denny.
Jalad Zelzer says also DeLon, Shaman, Denny, Bilal, and even Mike and Corey when together on the court gave a great defensive effort. Finally, you see a group that all people are committed to play this end of the court. Yeah, DeLon played well too. I like the way he did. I like the way he played. I didn't bring up DeLon earlier, but he was flying around on the court. You can see that he makes a difference. It's not always going to show up in the stat sheet, but just him defensively, he's just a pest, man. He gets a lot of deflections, steals, just running around. He's a guy that you see where he was missed when he was out for sure. Just looking at his number, he had 1 block and 2 steals, so a plus 18, 4 points. That is not going to fill the stat sheet as far as scoring, but steals, blocks, deflections, all kinds of stuff like that defensively. He's a guy that you definitely need on the roster.
Oh, absolutely. I think every team needs to do the line right, man. I mean, he's always active on the defensive end, man. He's a leader on that second unit. He's been probably one of the most important players we've had on this roster for the last couple of years, man. Just because you feel when he's gone, it is a definite impact when he's off the roster, man. So definitely it's good to see him back to doing what he does best. So let's see.
110%. We'll probably read one more.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. That one black underscore guy says, y'all think felony, or felon could get us a first from a contender? Then he goes on to say Dellin, and then he goes on to finally say DeLon.
There we go.
So yeah, that one black underscore guy. Yes, we understand what you're trying to say. I'll read this one too. Denver for life. He says, "I'm 2-0 games this year, fellas. I might have to start going to more games." Saw Denny stands outside Capital One arguing with a guy in a pool jersey. This fan base will never be happy. Will never be happy. I kind of saw some back and forth on social media as well, as far as like Twitter and whatnot. But I have, I'm not worried about that at all, to be honest. Barely wins. So it's like you got to take these wins and be happy. However, I don't care if Jordan Poole sat the whole fourth quarter. A win is a win is a win. I'll take it.
Yeah. I could care less, man. I mean, it's funny, man, but it's like, remember those commercials, man? The right Twix, the left Twix battling each other. That's what it feels like, man. It's like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing, man? I mean, we're a 6-win team. Let's focus on other things, man.
Right. And then Brandon, you were telling me about the video where somebody tried to say Denny didn't want to give Jordan Poole a handshake in the huddle or whatever, going back to the bench. That was ridiculous. So yeah, people just trying to start stuff on social media is what it is.
How do we become the most popular 6-win team in the league, man? Like, it seems like TMZ is like on us, man. Like, I like to meet this camera guy, man, because he got some serious angles, man. Because he just caught him at the right angle where it shows, but he ended up turning around and dapping him up. So, if people are trying to find ways to come at this team, man, just keep playing, keep focused on development. We'll be all right, man.
Right, I'm telling you. Alexander, we'll talk about this another. Brandon's going to talk about it on his channel. I'll talk about it on my Commanders channel. So we're not going to get too much into Commanders talk right now because we're going to enjoy the Wizards win. But right now, I like Sam, of course, but he's just not seeing the field at all. But the word is that Jacoby's injured and Sam Howell's going to start tomorrow.
I mean, I'm just saying the word out is they want Caleb Williams. I'm just saying,
Basically, yeah.
That's
So
the
it
MO
is.
right now. So, Sam, look, it's kind of like what I said about Monte Morris, man. He came in and he did his job. I mean, was he set up in the best situation? The offensive line's trash. I mean, we've had our issues, being in transition. Yeah, you can say that, man. So I think that either way we'll be all right. If we keep him as a starter, we're gonna be all right. And if he's a backup, we'll be all right. We will go out and get another quarterback. So either way, we're gonna have experience at the quarterback level. So I'm not.
Yeah, they got to draft a quarterback though. I think they will. I think they will. But that one black guy, I guess we'll answer this and we'll wrap it up for tonight. He says, "Y'all think Felon DeLong could get a first from a contender?" I do not. I think the only person you're gonna get a first four on the Wizards roster is Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, that's it, man. DeLon does have value, but that's the thing. Do other teams value him as much as we do, or would his impact be as meaningful as it is for us? You know what I mean? So I think that's one way to look at it. DeLon would definitely be an asset to most teams because he's defensive minded and he's a vet. He's definitely a locker room presence, man. But that's the thing. He might not have the same impact on another team like he does here. This is a young team. If he gets flipped to a contender, he might not have the same impact. So we'll see, but not a first round pick now. I think, just like he said, the only person on this roster realistically we can get a first for is Kyle Kuzma. Maybe you can squeak one out for Tyus, depending on how dire the point guard situation is for the team, trying to obtain him. But Kyle Kuzma's it. So
yeah, 100%. So we thank you guys for listening. Drew, what do we think about the Pistons record? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about still thinking about trading your average players for draft picks, Pistons 9. But it's still rubbish. It's a good conversation to have, and we'll probably talk about that on the next episode, probably tomorrow night. But we want to thank you guys for listening and making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you guys get podcasts. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell as well. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with local experts of Locked On Plus. Our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. Hell to the Wizards. They got a dub. Turbo showed up. Hell to the Wizards. Peace.